We wanted to talk through the apps and software we use to get us through our day. Tell us about, what do you use to manage your projects, or CRM tools, if you've ever heard that.
Yes.
CRM tools, customer relationship management, essentially tools that we use to deal with clients and leads and contracts and that sort of thing. So I know what you use, but let's talk about it.
No, yeah. Well, the main item that's been an absolute game changer for me is an application called Studio Ninja. Now, it's an online-based software that basically has everything from my customer journey. So anything from the initial contact, including contact forms, all the way through to invoicing and everywhere in between. It also has a lot to do with project management. I can schedule appointments, calls. It's absolutely amazing for doing automated emails. You can set up templates and stuff like that, because the amount of times that I'm kind of, in essence, chasing up a quote or chasing an invoice, it's just time consuming, isn't it? And
the admin.
That's bad.
So from what I believe, you can literally say a client comes to you, tell me if I'm wrong, because I don't use Studio Ninja. I'm waiting for Mitch to come round to mine and set me up on it, because him and some other friends of ours who are freelancers, they use it and they're all saying how amazing it is. So from what I understand, you can say you send an initial inquiry and then it'll do like an automated follow-up just to say, you can set that for, say, a week's time or whatever. Say, just following up on our last email. And normally I would do that by manually, but you're saying that you could just set that. And is it right as well? You say you have different like workflows for like your weddings, and then you got your commercial.
Exactly that. So you can set it up in the kind of contact form initially, which is really good. So how I do it, I have a contact form on my website. So any inquiries that come through irrelevant of their commercial work or weddings or something like that, they have like a drop down box to select whether it's a wedding or it's commercial stuff, because you'd like to think they know the difference between the two. Yeah. That also generates a different type of workflow. So in a commercial workflow, there will be it's stuff like potentially we'll start looking at booking a call. Then you'll have your day, your actual shoot day. That's automatically generated, and then it goes into other things for your other workflow. But with the wedding side of things, you'll potentially have more calls, more things to discuss, and it puts all that into the workflow that, one, you can use to just tick off as you work through it, and two, also sets deadlines for those items that you need to do, which really help me anyway, because I'm pretty pants it, but with time management from that side of things, and knowing, like, being aware of when something happened, because as you know, when you're busy, days and weekends just merge into a one, don't they? So I'm kind of thinking, oh God, when actually was that? And then you go back and see, right then, okay, that was only a week ago, but it highlights that for you, and it is just so good on that side of things.
Yeah, I definitely need to get on it, because everything I do is like, oh, when did I last speak to them? Oh, that was a week ago. I really need to follow up. So yeah, I think having something that can take away the pains of just trying to keep on that yourself, like you say, when you're busy working in the business, aren't you? You're not like on it with the lead gen. So yeah, I think it's definitely something I need to get onto. And by the way, this isn't an ad for Studio Ninja. However, Mitch has a link.
I do. Yes, I do. So there's a referral code which we will put in the. Is it comment section, or we put it in
the description?
Description, you'll put it in there. So
unless you're on Apple Podcasts, then you
and
then I don't know. Will it be?
Yeah, we'll put it in the description as well.
Yeah.
Surely
I think so,
you can. So I think it gives you 5% off. Which
cool.
works, and just the more you kind of do it, the more you get off. So hopefully you all do it, and I'll get it for free. Thank you.
Cheers.
But the one thing, well, not one, because I've already said that a lot. There's so many good things about it, but I think game changer for me was, obviously you send over quotes and you ask for a brief and you send over a quote. In the quote structure and what you send over to the client, if they're happy with it, they can then pick and choose from the quotes of what they want. It automatically generates your contracts, so that gets all signed and all done. It all stores it all in one place. It automatically generates your invoices, and within the invoices you can do payment structures and how you want to do that. It will send automatic reminders to those payment structures.
Oh wow!
And it is just so good. You can just see from start to finish how it goes. And one little trick which I love about it, well, another little trick is it automatically keeps a history of the back and forth emails.
Right.
So you can actually see when they've read or opened the email.
Right.
Which the amount of times I've sent an email, oh, sorry.
Not read it.
Not
and
read
you
it.
were like,
well, you did.
Bloody did.
And obviously it doesn't really actually make
You
a
don't
difference.
say any of that,
But
no.
it's good to be able to acknowledge that they have done that. No matter how many times have you gone, oh, I haven't heard a response back. Did they actually receive it? Or has it gone into spam or something like that? And I used to follow up with a text.
Yeah.
And that is good, but sometimes maybe a bit
time-consuming.
it's time-consuming and can be maybe more than is needed. But at least you know they've received it and they've been able to read through. And whether they come back to you or not is another thing, isn't it? But it is a good thing to be able to see these. And those steps are just perfect.
I'm definitely not as techie as Studio Ninja, but for me, a simple way. Say you know you don't want to spend anything a month. You know, I'm on Apple, obviously. Well, I say obviously, I run Final Cut, but we'll get to that in a minute. And that's Apple only. But the calendar in Apple, so I have multiple calendars in there. So I have a work calendar with my shoot days on, and that syncs to my family as well. So my fiance and my daughter can see when I'm out shooting, and that's kind of like how I see what shoots are coming up. The addresses go within that, and any notes. And then I guess I'm a bit more like old school in the sense of, you know, the things that need to be done are in notes on my phone, and I can also share them with other people just so they can see where I'm at. You know, like recently, a photographer I work with called Dean Mitchell. Shout to Dean.
Hello.
How you, mate? Because I know he's watching them. He recently set up a calendar because we collaborate on projects where he does photos and I do video. So we've got our own individual calendar that's just called Gav/Dean work. And so he can put the dates in for our projects, and also if I want I can click a button and he can see the rest of my schedule. So that's mine's quite simple. Definitely move into Studio Ninja, obviously use your link. And that'll be the way I'll go forward. But you know, there are simpler ways. Pen and paper was a whiteboard was a big one for me in the beginning. Jobs, where I'm at, dates
I had
to
a little
film,
one,
whiteboard. I don't have that anymore. But yeah, there's definitely other methods, but that's pretty much what I do. Yeah.
That's worked really well for me though, because I didn't do that initially myself, did I? I was very much, yes, I had a bit of Studio Ninja, but I didn't take it from a calendar side of things in the sense of instant access for other people. And that's really worked well with me and my partner. She can see, all right then, he's working.
It's none of this. Oh, where are you this week?
Yeah, no,
although
just double booking.
my Rachel go, where are you on Friday? I'm like, it's in the calendar. And she's like, well, I haven't looked. I just thought I'd ask you because you're here. I was like, but you know, I can't remember if you had an incident with Bev where I think there was I'm on this shoot and she didn't know, and you said, well, I told you, and I'm like, well, why have you not got like a synced calendar? And I think that's kind of what.
I don't think that was one incident. I think that was
maybe
every other
several.
day.
But yeah, I was like, why are you not syncing calendars? So Rachel just go, right, okay. And I even have a family one, so if there's any like social events, important family stuff, she'll put that in the calendar, and I know, oh right, okay, Mia's got a orthodontist appointment. Orthodontist, similar. Dentist. To get braces, removed or whatever. I can know that I can't put in work that way. So that's kind of like how I deal with things.
We get asked all the time what editing software we use. Myself and Gav use Final Cut. Why do you use Final Cut? What do you find so good about it?
I think in early days when I started out, I wanted to get into editing, and I just then went on the internet to find tutorials on editing. And I think the first video I found was Larry Jordan. I think I mentioned this in a previous episode, and Final Cut Pro. And I was like, oh, right, okay then. So I found a copy of that and just started in Final Cut. And being a Mac guy, it's built by Apple. So the stability of it is good. And I guess I kind of it's one of them, isn't it? When you get into gaming, your mates have all got Xboxes, you get an Xbox, and you kind of just stay in that ecosystem. And I think that's probably it. There's lots of options out there, isn't there? You know, you've got your main big one is Premiere Pro. A lot of people using DaVinci Resolve now, aren't they? Which is free to a certain point.
I started off on DaVinci.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because like I said, because it was free. I was exactly the same. Where I just went, oh, well, what is editing? I just googled editing software.
So it's funny, isn't it? Whatever come up in the search results is like, that's what I'm going to use.
And then I was like, oh, well, what costs? What doesn't cost? And obviously, there's a lot of free stuff out there, but to me, some of it is a bit naff, you know what I mean? A bit basic. And then DaVinci was free, and I looked at it, and it was really, really good. However, at the time, I think it lacked some of the basic features that made a workflow good, which for me that's why moving over to Final Cut from that was.
Did you go to Final Cut Pro 10?
Yes, yeah. See, I don't know anything before that.
Yeah, I'm old school, so I was I think Final Cut Pro 6. So I was in that, and then they built 10. And it was a shambles when it came out.
Really?
Yeah, it was crap. Everyone was calling it iMovie Pro.
Oh, God, okay.
But, you know, over 10 years on now, they've just listened to the community and built it on feedback. And now it's so solid.
Yeah.
Like, it never crashes, like Adobe, which crashes all the time. There's so many memes in the community about Adobe Premiere's Pro crashing. But well, that's for another day. But, you know, and it's just really easy to use. And at the end of the day, right, it's just a tool, innit? A tool to do a job. You can do that in Premiere. You can do that in DaVinci. And a lot of people go to DaVinci. And if, you know, you're looking to get into editing properly and don't have, 300 quid for Final Cut? Pro 10? But it's a one-off payment if you don't want to pay a monthly subscription like Premiere Pro, which is, you know, you're talking at least 20 quid a month just for that one program. At least with DaVinci, it's free, and I think pretty much you can get the job done on the free model. There's just paid extras.
Yeah, no. So I think it's something like you pay like £300-400 or whatever it is for the pro version, and you put on the free version. I think you've got a good 90% of the tools that you need, unless you're getting up there or doing really more heavy editing, I would say.
So that's I guess that's some good advice, isn't it, for anyone that's getting into it that's not sure where to go. But you know, if you can afford the £300 for Final Cut, it's a solid choice if you're on Mac. But yeah, there's like I say, it's just a tool, isn't it, to do the job. Once you build that skill set on anything, your client's not going to know.
No.
No one's going to go, hold on. Was that edited on Premiere Pro? Because it shows.
It's funny you say that, though. We've had experiences where we've spoken to clients and they're like, well, what software do you use? And it's like their potentially in-house editor or something like that is using Prem, or it's a good thing that we're using Final Cut because, do you know what I mean?
Because they may want to take the project file.
Yeah, exactly. So again, it all does depend on your situation, doesn't it? If you're an in-house editor, which you could well be, and the business in its whole uses a certain type of program, well, that's a program to learn, isn't it?
Yeah,
really?
It's funny because a few years ago now, I had someone I knew at a production company in the States, and she was trying to help me sort of progress from, you know, side hustle to full time. And she's like, well, maybe I can help and give you some work. She says, but we all edit on Premiere Pro here. So obviously if you do a job and we need to dig into it in a few years, I can just load up the project file. So she was like, if you learn Premiere, we can give you more work. So I learned Premiere. And I way prefer Final Cut. I feel like Premiere is very clunky in comparison, but that's just my opinion. At the end of the day, it's not truth. So, you know, I can relate to that, you know, sometimes a certain client may have a certain system that they want you to go. So, you know, that may be the only time where it matters, I guess, like you say, you know. So it's just try what's out there and see what suits you best, I think.
Obviously, we've spoken about project management tools and we've discussed the editing software that we use. But how about we talk about how we deliver our videos to our clients?
Yeah, easy this one. Frame.io. We both use that, right? So I do see this question a lot in Facebook groups because I'm in a few videography groups for beginners, and I like to chime in there and give advice, you know, hence why we're doing this podcast, right? And people always say, oh, how are you delivering your clients? Should I use Dropbox? Should I use Google Drive? 100%. You want to be delivering your edits in full HD, 4K, whatever it is, because they want to get that instant full quality. And with the likes of Dropbox, it streams very low res. I'm not sure about Google Drive. I think that's similar.
It's pretty much the same,
Yeah, so it's not doing it full HQ. But with Frame.io, You can upload, you can share that link with the client. They can view it in 4K. If you're shooting in 4K, you should be, if your camera allows it.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway. So, and then they're able to comment on it, right? So they can essentially get to a point in the video, leave a comment, it's time stamped, and then you can have a little conversation thread in there as well. And you can even, like, I don't know if you can draw circles around stuff.
Yeah.
You can put versions side by side. They can then download that from there and approve, mark it's approved and all things like that. So it's, since I started using that, my clients are like, oh my God, this is brilliant. But before, I would just send them like a WeTransfer link. They would download it and play it. But then they jump on an email and they're, right, okay, at 1 minute 10 to 1 minute 14, can we take this clip out? And they have to do that. But with Frame.io, as you know, you just type it at that point and then it links to your editor. So it will link to Final Cut. So I can click that comment and my playhead in Final Cut will go to that point. So I don't have to go, all right, 1 minute 14, oh, right there. So, that's been, I wish I'd have had it years ago. I mean, was it me? Did I tell you about that? Or did you go on it first?
I told you about it. The difference thing, just a difference on that is, I still do my final deliveries through Google Drive. Because that's just a different way to do it. The thing for Frame.io for me is the reviewing side of things. Of what you mentioned is still, it's so good, perfect in what's good about it is that back and forth between the client. So they'll comment on, like you say, they'll play it through and go, oh, at this part we need to, the volume's too loud, or we need to remove this B-roll clip or something like that. And then I can then comment to their comment, reply to their comment, and just say, oh, actually, we can use this part, or actually, it's best we don't because it's such a close cut to this, or do you know what I mean? You can have that conversation specifically about that part in the video. And like you say, when you're then able to transfer it over into Final Cut and it's just all there for you, absolute game changer.
It's just smooth workflow, right?
To be honest with you, only something recently that I've kind of clocked on from what you've said is the actual full delivery of it. What was fascinating about it is it's not just for video, it's for photo as well, isn't it? Yeah. And you deliver like galleries in essence on it. Yeah. And I didn't even know you could do that. No, yeah. And then you showed me, I was like, wow, and it's all there for them to download in the full quality and everything, and it is just great.
And I like the fact that if you upload as version 2, they just click the same link.
And
it says at the top version 2, and they can go, let me view version 1. It's a drop down, and then they can play them side by side. So say it's a color change or whatever, or we don't like the grading, and they at least can watch them side by side. So for me, just the whole, you want to basically create as little friction as possible in your day-to-day, especially when you get busy, right? And you just want as least obstacles as possible. So having an email thread of multiple people chiming in, you know what it's like when they don't reply to all, and then you're looking through this email thread it's horrendous. But with this, it's all in one place. You can hide comments that have been read. You can see who's read them.
That is literally reminding me that it's a good thing that obviously you're saying where you have multiple people discussing and it's all in one place, which is great because you can see and they're all kind of time stamped.
Different colours,
all that. What has been a game changer for me, and obviously this is probably very basic, but you're going through the different edits and then you can click hide completed.
Yeah.
And as soon as I do that, it helps you whittle down all the edits you've got to do.
Yeah.
And they're obviously still linked to the time code and stuff like that. But I had this I've had this job that I must have done 6 or 7 revisions on, and there've been 40, maybe 50 amendments. Just slightly, like take this out or something like that.
And you just click it and it's gone when you do it.
Yeah. But as soon as you've done it, you take it down and you're able to. Well, for me, in my head, just see that you're actually making your way through it. When you've done 3 or 4 edits, if there's only 3 or 4 edits to do, you do them and then you've dealt with them.
You can see that, but when
you're having to scroll through them all, you're like, well, have I done that? And at least you can tick it, highlight it, and it goes from your list. And you're like, great. When your list is empty, you're done. You're done.
Yeah.
As always, we want to hear from you guys. What software and apps are you using to help run your business? Let us know in the comment section below, and we'll see you next week.
It took you 6 years to get
that. Okay, or do we want to do another one?
No,